Welcome to round 3 of the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. My name is Chris Murphy here with JP Broadcasting, bringing you round 3 here at Twin Ring, Montego. Getting qualifying wrapped up here real quick. We're just about the end of about 2 seconds left in qualifying. We're going to get this car starting to get gridded up. So as we get started, my good buddy Alex Goldschmidt going to be here with us tonight, but it looks like he hasn't quite made it here yet. So we're going to get the show started. We've got about 2 to 5 minutes left to go in warm up, and we'll get the cars lined up. So we'll take a look here real quick at our race points coming into round number 3. Leading the GTP is Pat Pelchat, Dominic Dornberg in second, Harrison Higgins, Nathan Dowd, Jimbo Pfeiffer, Brandon Wilson back there in sixth. Brandon won the last race out 2 weeks ago at Road Atlanta. Billy Smith back there in the 7th position. We go look down at the GTD LMP2 cars. It's Caden Richardson. Caden's won both races at Daytona and Road Atlanta coming into this season as Matthew Dennis there in second. Kevin Santana, Justin Negret, Robert Tinsey, Walker Carroll, and Mo Islam round out the 7 there in the LMP2 cars. And it looks like we may have a few more 8 LMP here so far tonight. It looks like 6 GTP. We'll get to those qualifying results here in just a moment. GTD is Bradley Howard, our team championship sponsor with Haley Agency. Bradley Howard, Carter Cuttinger, they're in second, and Robert Cast. Robert won the last race out at Road Atlanta in third right now in the GTD car, and Jason Kinger back there in the 4th spot. Get to the GTDM. It's Paul Slavanik, Brian Bennett. Paul won the race opening round at Daytona. And then it's Brian Bennett, David Fernandez, Mark Kudrowski, Samuel de Oliveira, Joshua Wolf, Rich Minkler, Dale Green, Chris Sherburne, Paul Lindsay, Shane Hunter, Alex Bentley Dean, Lindsay Schwalbe, and Sheldon Rosenbaum. So that is our standings coming in to round number 3. Get things loaded up or see if we can take a look at the qualifying grid. So qualifying's quite over with yet, so we don't really have the grid to our So it looks like it's going to be Brandon Wilson. Get our grid over on the left-hand side. So it's going to be Brandon Wilson, winner at Road Atlanta. Like we said, Pat Pelchat. Now, Pat looked to have that race at Road Atlanta pretty much in hand until a pit stop. Oh, he even called it an error himself, not taking tires. That allowed Brandon Wilson to run him down from a pretty wide gap back, about 8 to 10 seconds back at one point. And Wilson was able to run him down there and take that win there at Road Atlanta. Nathan Dowd. So Pat Pelchat is going to start off in second. Those two are only separated by about 15 thousandths of a second. So look forward to the Wilson and Pelchat going at it all day long here at Montego. Pelchat starting second, Dowd in third, Higgins fourth, Dornberg fifth, and Pfeiffer's going to start sixth. That's the sixth and final car there in the GTP class. LMP2, it's going to be Caden Richardson, your points leader, Walker Carroll, Robert Tinsey, Mo Islam, Matt Brewer, Alan Aguilar, Kevin Santana, Matthew Dennis, our largest field of LMP2 cars so far this season. We're going to get down to the GTD. Only 3 cars in the GTD class, and it's Carter Cunninger starting first out of that group, qualifying fast time. See Bradley Haley there in second. Robert Cast, last week's winner at Road Atlanta, 2 weeks ago. Sorry about that. At Road Atlanta, Robert Cast are going to qualify third in the GTD. Get down to the GTDM. It is your points leader, Brian Bennett, Sheldon Rosenbaum, Paul Slavanik, Joshua Wolf. Samuel de Oliveira going to start in 5th. David Fernandez in 6th. Mark Kudrowski 7th. Get back to 8th is Chris Sherburne, Dale Green, Rich Minkler, Shane Hunter. And that is our field of cars. 28 cars here strong tonight at Montego. We look at the team championship. We kind of overlooked that one, but Bradley Agency is sponsoring a team championship here this season. here at the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge. And the points leader right there right now is Soul Spec Precision. Composite Performance in second, Furry Simsport third, Sector 5 Black, and Sector 5 Haley. And you see, round out the 5 team competing so far for the team championship. So we've got just a few minutes left here to go. We got an hour-long race, about 2 minutes left before we get fired up. So look forward to some great racing here at Montego. A lot of opportunities for passing, especially as they get down to that tight hairpin off of 9 into 10, and then down that long back straightaway into turn 11, and then down that start finish line, down the pit lane straight into turn 1. Look forward to some late braking. Look, we're gonna the first couple of races of the season, we've been pretty focused on the GTD cars. They've been putting up pretty much the best fight until Road Atlanta, when it was Brendan Wilson and Pat Pelchak coming down to the wire. We'll see how this shakes out here today. So we're taking a look at our different camera views we have for you. We've got just one more minute. We'll get gridded up. Once again, my name is Chris Murphy here with the JP Broadcasting, bringing you round 3. This is Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. Been around for about 14 years. They have been around since the early days of iRacing. Carter Cunningham putting this lead together, doing a great job. A lot of top-notch drivers in here. Look forward to some really great racing throughout the season. About a minute left to go, and we will get gridded up here. As you can see, the drivers making their way to their cars. The way this will work out, the GTP will fire off first, LMP2 right there behind him, about a second or so back behind him, and then GTD and GTDM will fire off together after that. We had some music we can play for you here. We're getting gridded up instead of listening to my voice over and over again, but we'll get going here shortly. So thank you for being here with us. If first time here, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. JPB Broadcasting, you bringing you tons of races all week long. You can pretty much find races on here. I mean, we're in the States right now, so actually on the West Coast, so it's about 6:30 in the evening, but you can find races on here 5 o'clock in the morning, noon, whenever you want. If you're looking for a race to watch, check us out here at JP Broadcasting. There's always something going on here. So I'm looking like seeing some chat going on in the Discord. Maybe some chat about some weather coming in before this race is over. That might make it a little more interesting. You see that it looks a little cloudy out there. Let's see if we can get a shot. It is looking a little dreary. I don't know if we got any rain coming in. Let's see if we can pull the weather up here for you. So weather right now, cloudy, 68% chance of rain. Good chance we're going to see some rain before this one, some moisture on the track before this is over with. Definitely gonna throw a challenge at these drivers if we do get some moisture on this racetrack. We're starting to make our way around for our warm-up laps. Brandon Wilson, Pat Pelchat. Look for these two to be side by side all day long. All right, making our way around. We're really gonna keep an eye on this weather. Sound out. There we go. All right, we are green flag. Lights are out. I missed the start of that race, didn't I? So start of the race, lights out is Brandon Wilson out in front. Pat Pelchat right there behind him. Nathan Dowd, Harrison Higgins. Back to the LMP2s. It's Caden Richardson, Walker Carroll, Robert Tinsley. So Brandon Wilson getting away from Pat Pelchat real quick early on the first couple of laps as we get started. 1 hour race. We're 1 minute in, lap number 1. It's currently Brandon Wilson, Pat Pelchat out in front. Nathan Dowd, Harrison Higgins, Dominic Dornberg. Take a look back here at Caden Richardson leading the LMP2 cars. We'll jump back here and take a look at the GTD. We got them right here in line. Carter Cunningham, Robert Cass, and Bradley Haley, sorry, right there together. We look back a little bit further. We can see Brian Bennett leading the GTM, and he's actually right here in the mix with the GTD cars. But Brian Bennett and that McLaren right there, currently leading the GTD AM. Take a look back up here at the front. It is still Brandon Wilson and Pat Pelchat right there behind you. You can see the gap. It's about 15 car lengths or so. About almost a full second between the two leaders right now. So Brandon Wilson setting a blistering pace here early. Brandon Wilson, Pat Pelchat, your leaders right now in the GTP cars. Back to LMP2. It's still Caden Richardson setting a blistering pace here as well, leading the early laps here in the LMP2. Looking to win 3 of 3. He's won the first 2 races. Can he pick up the win here at Motegi as well? Gator Carter starting to put a little bit of a gap between himself and Robert Cass back there in his second position. Take a look back to Cass and Hadley there, battling up for that second place there in the GTD. One more time, we'll look back here at Brian Bennett in the Sector 5 McLaren, leading the GTD, and Sheldon Rosenbaum right there behind him. One more time, we take a look here at the GTD. All single filed out here so far. Not a lot of racing going back and forth. We haven't seen not a lot of passing so far. Pretty straightforward racing. An hour long for 50. We're almost 4 minutes into this. 56 minutes left to go, and you can see Pat Pelchat has made up a little bit of ground here on the back of Brandon Wilson's, but it's still about a second between the two. Wilson just kind of biding his time back there. We saw that last week when Wilson was able to reel him in and take the win at Road Atlanta. Nathan Dowd, Harrison Higgins, and Dominic Dornberg back here, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in the GTP. We'll look one more time. We'll take a look back at the LMP2, and Walker Carroll doing a good job here, hanging on to the back of Caden Richardson, not letting Caden drive away from him, as he has Robert Tinsey all over the back of him right now in that 3rd place in the LMP2s. Looks like we might have had a little bit of an off back there from Kevin Santana. We'll take a quick look at it here. You can see Santana in the LMP2 just gets that left front tire off in the grass. Spins it around, fortunate not to hit anything. No full course cautions here in the Autobahn and Sportscar Challenge endurance racing. So it looks like Santana's going to get it back going again. Back up here to the front, it's Brandon Wilson, Pat Pelchat. Pelchat just lurking back here in the back. I think we're going to see this all race long for this whole hour. These two right there together. But Wilson setting a really good pace here. But it's Pat Pelchat so far with the fastest lap of the race, of the 1:39.971. And he's starting to close that gap back up just a little bit. Take a look back here. We got side by side with Matt Brewer and Robert Tinsey. Brewer down to the inside. He's going to make the pass, take that 3rd spot away from Tinsey there in the LMP2. Right there behind him, Mo Islam and Alan Aguilar. Also racing back here in the GTD, it's Robert Castnell's got around Bradley Haley for that second spot in the GTD. Haley won the first race of the season at Daytona. Cast won 2 weeks ago at Road Atlanta. Our 3 GTD cars were all tight together right here. Carter Cuniger right there in the front. Robert Cast and Bradley Haley. I keep saying Howard. It is Haley. He's our league sponsor. Brian Bennett still leading the GTD-EM. LMP2 cars all still really tight together. Walker Carroll, Matt Brewer, Robert Tinsey, Mo Islam. You can see right here, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in the group. You see our LMP2 is winding our ways around through turn number 12. Off the final corner. And it's still Wilson and Pelchat out in front. 3 car lanes separate each other right here. Pelchat just waiting for Wilson to make a mistake. Good battle going on here back in the mid-pack of the GTDM. We have Samuel De Oliveira right there behind Joshua Wolf in the Sector 5 Racing. I like that paint job on Oliveira's car. We were talking about that last race. And you can see the top 5 or 6 here in the GTDM all nose to tail. Bennett leading that pack. Sheldon Rosenbaum right behind him. Paul Slavanik, the winner at Daytona, right now in 3rd in the GTDM. Joshua Wolf and Samuel De Oliveira rounding out the top 5. David Fernandez kind of hanging on to the back of this group as well. Still a fight for the lead up here. Wilson and Pelchat. Just any little mistake here from Wilson, and Pelchat is going to swarm all over him. Make our way up through turn, coming into turn number 3. You can see right here with Wilson and Pelchat right now. Weather's not looking great. Looking for a little moisture to start falling here pretty soon. You can see the clouds hanging pretty low around the speedway. And a little slip right there from Wilson coming off the corner. See if we can take a look from inside the car. We'll take a look here from Pelchat. Look at his view up to the back of the Brandon Wilson and that BMW. Don't see any moisture hitting the windshield or anything, so no rain yet. Take a look back here one more time. Robert Tinsey back here in the 4th spot in the LMP2. You got Matt Brewer right there in front of him. Caden Richardson still leading this group. Caden Richardson now with about a 2-second gap back to Walker Carroll. Back here one more time to the GTD. It's Carter Cuniger leading this group. Robert Cast and Bradley Haley right there with him. And you can see off in the distance Brian Bennett in the GTDM. Looks like our gap up front's closing in. It's 0.4 of a second now. It was up to over a second, but Pelchat now right there, putting the pressure on Brandon Wilson. He's filling up that rearview mirror. Take a look here one more time. Riding along here with Pat Pelchat. We'll look back here from Wilson back to Pelchat here in that 2nd position. As we are running lap number 7. And here comes Pelchat. Going to look to the inside. Actually looked to the outside. He's going to try to cut back up underneath. A nice move right there. He went to the outside, got a little momentum, cut back to the bottom of Wilson, but not able to get enough momentum to pull up alongside. Kind of hard to leave this battle and look at anything else on the racetrack. We're keeping an eye on the intervals up there, but it's our battle for the lead. You can see Wilson just a little bit of oversteer there through the corner. That is going to allow Pelchat to close up a little bit more. Just a few car lengths between the two right now. Gonna head down through turns number 12 and 13. Down into turn number 1 comes our leaders. Side by side one more time. Pelchat just looking for a gap anywhere he can find. They make their way up through turn number 3 and 4. It is still Wilson and Pelchat. Nose to tail. This is going to be a long hour for Wilson if he's got to try to fend off Pelchat. Pelchat going to look one more time to the outside, see if he can make that undercut one more time. You can see him trying to cut back up underneath of Wilson coming off the corner. And now he's alongside on the inside. Pelchat with the line. They're side by side one more time. They head through the S's. Down into turn number 9. Side by side still. Pelchat and Wilson. They got some lap traffic there in front of them by the GTD car. And Pelchat's going to have to fall in line. Going to fall back behind Wilson. But he's going to take a look to the inside. A little bit of contact right there. They now head up into the hairpin. And you can see 3 wide there with a lap car on the outside. The GTM car just kind of getting out of the way. Didn't want any part of this. And it's still Wilson Pelchat coming up on a few more lappers here in the GTDM. Pelchat one more time looking to the outside. He's going to see if he can use that lap car as a pick down there on the bottom. Is not able to get past. Great battle here up front. Wilson, Pelchat making their way through the traffic here, fighting it out for the lead here in the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge at Motegi. One more time. Wilson down to the inside. He's got a line. And he is going to have the outside line as they head up into turn number 3. Still side by side is Pelchat and Wilson. They have been side by side for about the last lap and a half. One more time. Pelchat going to look to the outside. Does he have enough momentum? Not going to clear Wilson. They're going to head up. Going through the S's here one more time. Wilson and Pelchat. Looks like we got Jimbo Pfeiffer back in the pits a few laps ago. For some reason, didn't miss that. But we have got a great battle here up front. Third race of the series here for the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. And our first 2 race winners right here, nose to tail. It's Pelchat looking to the inside again. Almost a little bit of a contact. As they're going to head down into turn number 12. I'm still learning the turns here. Side by side one more time. Going to come through the last couple of corners. You can see more lap traffic right there in front of him. So not only is Wilson trying to fend off the fight here from Pelchat, but he's also trying to make his way through the traffic here with the GTD car. Is doing a great job. You see 70 Oliveira kind of moving over the way. The next lap car is going to be Joshua Wolf from the GTD. Side by side one more time. Almost a little brush of contact. One more time through turns 3 and 4. We are 10 laps into this race. Can they do this for this whole race? It's going to have to come down to pit strategy. I think what's going to happen, they are going to have to at least make one stop. As we see Wilson and Pelchat still making their way through traffic. They just got by Sheldon Rosenbaum. Right there in front of him now is going to be Brian Bennett, your leader in the GTD AM cars. Brian's just going to move over out of the way. Brandon Wilson, he has got his hands full with Pat Pelchat. Just a great fight. You know, after the race 2 weeks ago, they both told us that we were going to see this all season long, and they're not disappointing yet. We are about 17 minutes into this hour-long race, and it's Wilson and Pelchat out in front. I have to jump over and give some other screen time here. We'll just kind of take a look back here. Caden Richardson still leading the LMP2. Carter Coninger leading the GTD, and it's Brian Bennett in the GTD AM. Get back to this battle up here at the front. I don't think we want to miss any of that. Now they're finding their way through the GTM cars as they go past Robert Caston and Bradley Haley right there. Pelchat and Wilson still out in front. Do turns 3 and 4 one more time. And there's the GTD leader, Carter Cuttinger, right there in front of him. Pelchat and Wilson. Pelchat looking at the outside one more time, but watch him try to cut back up underneath. Not able to do it this time. Pelchat looking to the inside one more time through turn number 9. He's going to have the outside coming up into 10. Up into the hairpin. They're going to come up here side by side. One more time, it's Pelchat to the outside. Tries to get it run down that back straightaway. Can he get the inside line away from Wilson? One more time, going to look to the outside. Just not enough momentum out there. Going to try to cut back up underneath again. Look up underneath Wilson. They're going to head down into the last couple of corners through turn 12 and 13. Pelchat gets a left rear off in the dirt just a little bit, but no harm, no foul. As we start lap number 12, 41 minutes into this race, we're probably about, I'm guessing, about 10 minutes away from any kind of pit stops. We're going to take a look here. It looks like we might have had Chris Sherburne with an incident. We'll take a look at that real quick and get back to this lead for the battle for the lead. So here's Sherburne in the 007 car. Just gets into the corner. See, again, just off in the grass. We saw that earlier, our first incident. Kevin Santana and Wilson and Sherburne there doing the same thing, getting off in the grass. Oh, we got contact here. As we come back to our battle for the lead. Let's go back and see if we can see what happened. We got Pelchat going down to the bottom, Wilson on the outside. They get down to the corner, and just a little contact there on that right rear quarter panel. Let's take a look one more time at what happened there. See if we can slow it down a little bit. So let's take a look from the in-car of Pelchat. He looks down to the inside of Wilson. I think he thought maybe he was going to stay out there and give him the line. He kind of gets his nose stuck in there, catches that right rear quarter panel of Brandon Wilson, and unfortunately turns Wilson around. That is going to put Wilson about 2.5 seconds back now. So unfortunate right there. Pelchat, Wilson racing hard for about three or four laps. Something was bound to give, and unfortunately it was Wilson on the rough end of that one. I think Pelchat kind of stuck his nose in there and thought Brandon Wilson was going to give him that line. I think he thought he saw him there. But as Wilson came down into the corner, they made contact. Fortunately, it doesn't look like there's too much damage on the car. See if he can recover from it. So now he's about 2.5 seconds back. He's actually closed that up a little bit. about just right around 2 seconds. Looks like we might have another incident here with Kevin Santana. We'll take a look at that real fast. Santana with an off earlier in the race. Let's see what happened to him here. Just gets in the corner. Looks like a little too much rear brake, and it just spins it around. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that gap between Wilson and Pel. Actually, it looks like Pelchat. Looks like Pelchat backed up, gave Wilson the lead back. Let's take a look here. As we were looking at what was going on there, you can see Pelchat's kind of looks like he's backed up to Wilson, and he is just going to pull over and let Wilson go by. So, gentleman move there from Pelchat. He knew that contact earlier. I think he's taking responsibility for it. And he's going to let Wilson get the lead back here, and they're going to go back at it. So, in the meantime, Nathan Dowd has also worked his way over. So we now have a 3-car battle for the lead between Wilson Pelchat and Nathan Dowd. Back to live time here. They're going to go back at it here one more time. Wilson, Pelchat, and now Dowd has joined the party. It's a 3-car battle for the lead. One more time. Pelchat down to the inside. He looks like he's got the line this time. Wilson with a little wiggle off the track. Get the right rear off the racetrack just a little bit. And here comes Dowd. Dowd going to try to follow Pelchat back by. Wilson back to the inside. And they are still side by side. They're going to head it through turn number 6 down to 7. It is Pelchat, Wilson, and Dowd, your top 3 here in the GTP here for the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. Pelchat back to the point. Wilson going to take a dive. A late dive there. Pelchat saw it coming, moved over, gave him some space. And they are just going at it here, back and forth. Pelchat, Wilson, Dowd, your top 3 here. Oh, a little contact there. Something went flying off of Wilson's car. Was that it was the front bumper. No, I didn't really see the contact there, but the front bumper's completely gone off of Brandon Wilson. And now he's got his hands full with Dowd, and Wilson's going to come down into the pits, try to get some repairs. Let's see if we can see what happened there. This was a little bit earlier. I don't know what there was side by side. I don't know how. Let's see if we can get another camera angle over here. So they're side by side coming in the corner, and I don't know. I don't know what that was. A little net code or something like that, but I didn't really see any contact, unfortunately, for Wilson, as he is now in the pits getting repairs. Pelchat now with the lead. So it looks like Wilson, looks like he may be out of this. Oh no, he's gonna come, he's coming out of the pits right there. Well, he finds himself about, looks like about 14 seconds back, or excuse me, about 12 seconds back from the leader. So he's got his pit stop here early. If he can get out and put down some good laps, maybe he can make up some time, but 12 seconds is going to be a long time to make up. Pat Pelchat with the lead, but he's got Nathan Dowd right there. And actually, Harrison Higgins, I did not see that, but Harrison Higgins also right there with this group. Holding on to third right now, so it's Pelchat, Dowd, and Higgins. We'll go back here and look at the LMP2. You can see Brandon Wilson making his way around the outside. Oh, and the troubles continue for Brandon Wilson. He was trying to make his way around the LMP2 leader of Caden Richardson. And I don't know if Caden didn't see him there or was just trying to give him some space on the outside. But a little contact there sends Wilson off the racetrack one more time. So far a rough day here for Brandon Wilson at Motegi. As he finds himself back here overall in 9th, 5th out of the GTP cars. Caden Richardson still leading the LMP2. Carter Cunninger. See if we can go back and see. We can go back and see what happened there. So you can see Wilson. They're coming up on the back of Richardson. It just looks to go to the outside. Richardson down there on the bottom. Wilson started to come down across the nose. I think he thought he had him cleared. Started to come down into the line in the corner and just catches the right front bumper of Caden Richardson, and unfortunately Wilson off the track. Carter Cunninger is still leading the GTD class. Brian Bennett back here in the GTD AM. We got some good battles going on back here with Joshua Wolf, Paul Slavanik. We were focused on that battle up front for such a long time. We didn't really catch anything going on back here. Looking up towards the front now, Pat Belton at about a 1.7 second advantage back to Nathan Dowd and Harrison Higgins. Working their way through some more traffic. Dowd right there in second, Higgins in third. Wilson still trying to make up some pace. He's now, where's he at? He's about 15 and a half. Let's see here. He is a minute back to the leader right now. So I think Wilson's shouts of going back-to-back wins is pretty much out the window, but we'll see what kind of ground he can make up. Pelchat out in front. Dowd, Higgins. We are nearing the halfway point of this race. We're 28 minutes in, 32 minutes left to go. Take a look here at Walker Carroll. So we're a lot of traffic going on right here between the LMP2s and the GTDs. And looks like we got Robert Tinsey going to peel off down to the pits. Take a look here at Walker Carroll making his way through some traffic here, running second in the LMP2 class. You can see everybody, see Brandon Wilson down there on the bottom making his way through this traffic as well. Now, these cars don't have to move out of the way. They just kind of got to hold their line there, but they don't really have to just give way, especially if they're racing with somebody else. And you can, unfortunately, Wilson trying to make his way through or trying to make up some time, and he's catching a lot of these cars racing together, but he's going to clear that lap traffic. Now going to find his way around Walker Carroll there in that second place LMP2 car, and he is going to set his sights back up to try to get back around Caden Richardson. This is actually for position. This is overall position in the race here, as Richardson is in 5th, Wilson back in 6th. Take a quick glance up to the front. It's still Pat Pelchat, Nathan Dowd, Harrison Higgins. Looks like they got brought. So Wilson just going to go to the inside of Richardson. No issue this time. Just going to clear him, get by him quickly, and he's got Brian Bennett there, the GTDM leader, right there in front of him as well, trying to make his way around. Wilson has now cleared this traffic. He's got some clear sailing for a little bit. He's going to come up on a few more lap cars here pretty soon. So let's see what Wilson can do now that he's got some clean air. Last lap, Pelchat was about second faster than anybody else in the field with a 1:39.8. So Pelchat right here in front, he's going to come up on the lap car of Rich Minkler here in a few laps. You can see him right there in front, and actually going to come up with him in a couple of corners. Scroll through the field here a little bit. Walker Carroll there in second. Walker actually closing up on the back of Caden Richardson for the lead in the LMP2. So far the weather has held off. We were looking at a 68% chance of rain when we started. So far it has stayed dry. 'Cause, 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 We've got Bradley Haley right here behind Robert Cass, and you can see Wilson going by there on the inside on his charge, trying to get back as close to the front as he can. He was at one point about a minute back, and he is still about a minute back right now. So still putting down the best laps is Pat Pelchat, about a half a second faster than anybody else in the field last time by. My name is Chris Murphy here with JP Broadcasting, and bringing you week number 3, round number 3 of the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge Endurance Series, brought to you by Haley Agency. We had quite a bit of excitement early on in this race in a battle with Pat Pelchat and Brandon Wilson, but unfortunately Wilson ended up on the short end of the stick, found himself a little bit of contact, and then some kind of a mystery, I don't know what that glitch was, whatever, but all of his front bumper just fell off the car. He had to come in and take some repairs, and as he was trying to make his way back out on the racetrack, a little bit of contact with the LMP2 leader of the time, Caden Richardson, as Richardson has now made a pit stop. So what looked to be a fantastic battle all the way to the end of this race has now settled down to Pat Pelchat out in front by himself, about 3.5 seconds back to Nathan Dowd. Dowd had taken advantage of that contact between Pelchat and Wilson and worked his way right up into the fight, but has now fallen off just a little bit here, about 3.5 seconds back now of the leader. Walker Carroll now has made his way to the lead here at LMP2. He is going to go around. It looks like, let's see if he comes into the pit stop, see if he comes in here and takes some tires. I think Richardson came in and took a set of tires. I don't think Carroll wants to stay out there too long. It looks like he's going to go around. Going to go around at least one more time as he's trying to put a lap on the GTD leader of Carter Cunninger. Look here at Wilson, still back there in 5th, still over a minute. He's actually losing time. It was a minute 4 last time I looked. It's now a minute 6 away from the leader. And we got Matthew Dennis now going to come into the pits for his pit stop. So everybody's got to take at least one stop here today. We got Dennis now on pit road for his stop. Walker Carroll still leading the LMP2. Carter Cunninger. It looks like that's going to be, not sure who that is getting by him there, but Carter moving right away from that faster LMP2 car. Take a look here at Bennett in the Sector 5 GTD-M. Take a look back up here to the front. We still have Pelchat out in front, 3.5 seconds back. Still yet to make his pit stop as we are past halfway. We're 34 minutes into this 1-hour race. 26 minutes left to go. Pelchat puts a lap on Fernandez right there, and he has right in front of him now Paul Slavanik in the GTD-M. Trying to cut through traffic. So the challenging part here is just not making good laps. You know, you also got to worry about this traffic, because when you're in these faster GTP cars, you're coming up on these GTD cars awful fast. And it looks like we got Pelchat and Dowd both going to come down into the pits. Harrison Higgins going to stay out front, going to give him the lead temporarily. So fastest lap, let me see here, last lap, fastest lap out there was Pat Pelchat one more time. It looks like Wilson might have taken a little more damage than we thought in that incident. As he is about a second, even though he's got fresher tires on, he's about 1.5 seconds off. But here's our leader right now in the GTP. It is Harrison Higgins finding his way out in front, yet to make a pit. Everybody else in the GTP has pitted. Looks like we may have lost Jimbo Pfeiffer at some point. Dominic Dornberg actually may still be left to pit as well. So our top two right now in the GTP have yet to make a stop. They're going to have to come in here sometime shortly. Walker Carroll also yet to make a pit stop there in the leading the LMP2 class. And it looks like he's going to, no, I thought he was diving into the pits right there. Caden Richardson has pitted and eventually will probably retain the lead here once Walker comes down for his stop. And it looks like all the GTD cars and most of the GTM still left the pit as well. So you can see it looks like the sky's getting a little bit darker out there. Let's we get a shot. It looks like there might be some weather coming in here. We might have a little rain before this is over. That's hard to tell. But it is getting a lot darker. As you can see, these drivers all getting the headlights on. As we look at our leader in the GTD, it is Carter Cuniger. Harrison Higgins, your overall leader right now, and the leader of the GTP, makes his way around that number 5 of Brian Bennett in the Sector 5 Racing GTD-AM. So Higgins out in front. Pat Pelchet will more than likely retain the lead once Higgins and Dornenberg come in to make their stops. As we look at Dornenberg here in the second position. Let's see how this is going to shake out. It looks like when everybody's made their pit stop, looks like Wilson's still going to be about 10 to 12 seconds back of Pelchet here once this all cycles through. Probably was a lot easier on my voice if they quit racing side by side. I don't know if I was going to make that for a whole hour. So still out in front, Harrison Higgins yet to make a pit stop. We look back here at third right now overall. Pat Pelchet will eventually be the leader once things cycle through. Walker Carroll leading the LMP2 class right now. These guys are maybe staying out there as long as they can, hoping some weather's going to come in, take some wet tires. I'm not quite sure. We've got about 22 minutes left to go right now. Let's jump in the car here with Walker, see if we see any. Don't see any moisture hitting the windscreen. Like we got Rosenbaum coming in for making his pit stop back in the GTM. Brian Bennett still your leader there. Sylvanik and Fernandez, your top three in the GTDM right now. Rosenbaum in the pits. All the GTD cars still yet to pit stop, and our top three in the GTDM also still yet to pit. And Dowd come in to make his pit. Dornberg came in to make his pit stop, so that's going to move Pelchet up to second. Higgins still out in front. I'm sure he can't go the distance on fuel. He's going to have to make a stop at some point. Appreciate you being here with us. I'm Chris Murphy with JP Broadcasting. Round number 3 of the Autobahn Sportscar Challenge. Started off at Daytona, went to Road Atlanta, and we find ourselves over in Japan here at Motegi. And I'm probably not saying that right. My buddy Alex was here. He knows how to say all this. Take a look here at Higgins, still out in front, leading this race. He's been leading about the last 4 or 5 laps, actually. Pelchet led 12. Actually, Wilson led 12 earlier. Pelchet led 8. Harrison Higgins has led 3, so we've had 3 different leaders in this race. Probably a few more lead changes that in the middle, in between laps, not probably across the line officially. as it is getting dark here in Japan. It is Higgins out in front, Pelchat in second. Walker Carroll still leading the LMP2, but even though he hasn't pitted, Caden Richardson has worked his way up right behind. Actually, Carroll did make a pit stop. Well, good job there from Carroll making a quick pit stop, and he has holding the lead over Richardson. We got a battle here in the LMP2. Richardson's won the first 2 races of the season, won Daytona and Road Atlanta. Looking to pick up win number 3. He is definitely on. He's definitely got those tires warmed up. He's got a little better pace here than Carroll. Going to take a look to the inside. Carroll going to come down across. Has to give him space. Richardson was just too far alongside for Carroll to take that line away. And that is going to let Richardson get back to the front. So Caden Richardson finds his way back to the lead here in the LMP2. Take a look here at Pelchat as Higgins now is making his pit stop. And that is going to move Pelchat back to the point. Higgins just now getting into the pits. Pelchat making his way around the last couple of corners. So as he comes down this pitch straight, he is going to get back out in front, and he is going to have about, if I see this correctly, he is going to have about a 16-second lead back to second place. Actually, Higgins might going to get himself back out in second, back on the racetrack. So Pelchat going to have about a 4-second advantage over Higgins. Dowd in third, Dornberg and Wilson finds himself back in fifth right now after fighting early for the lead, leading the early parts of this race, led the first 12 laps of it. Fighting with Pat Pelchat back and forth. Unfortunately, he finds himself back in fifth right now. Caden Richardson leading the LMP2. He has Walker Carroll still lurking back there. As actually you can see Pelchat here in the middle of these two trying to find a way around here to put Richardson down a lap one more time. Actually, that's going to be the first lap that Richardson is down now since the pit stops have cycled through. Pelchat still setting the pace here. Higgins, Dowd, Dornberg, Wilson, your top 5. Richardson, Carroll, and Robert Tinsey, the top 3 in the LMP2. As Kinsey has Matt Brewer right there behind him. We got a little battle here for 3rd and 4th in the LMP2 class. And you can see the lights are on. It's getting dark here at Motegi. You can look up here to our leader one more time. It is Pelchat with about a 5-second gap back to Harrison Higgins. I think as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, this is his race now with about a little over 15 minutes left to go. Walker Carroll now in second in the LMP2. Richardson starting to get away from him about 2.5 seconds. Cass now has made his way to the lead here in the GTD class with Carter Cunninger. We didn't notice that, but here Cass out in front. Cunninger right there behind him. Only about 3/4 of a second back between these two. I think Cass just made a little better pit stop getting in and out. I think we can see our pit times here. That's exactly what it was. Robert Cass was about a 3-second better pit stop over Cunninger, and that gave him the lead here. 15 minutes left to go. Now we got a battle here for the GTD class. The GTD AM. Bennett's got about a 7-second gap back to David Fernandez, so Bennett looks to have that one in hand as long as he can keep it on the racetrack. And it looks like we've got about 4 cars out of this race right now. Kevin Santana, Jimbo Pfeiffer, Shane Hunter, and Mark Godrowski. I don't think he even took a lap. So here's our battle right now for the GTD. Robert Cast, the winner last time out at Road Atlanta, looking to pick up win number 2 in the season. But He has Carter Cunningham lurking all over the back of him, about 3 or 4 car lengths back. Let's see what it looks like from the inside the car. You know, it looks a lot, doesn't look near as dark as it did from outside the car. It looks like we may have had Brandon Wilson off the track one more time. We'll take a look here. As Brandon Date's just getting a little bit longer. Gets down in the corner, just kind of locked. Okay, he locked the breakups right there. What, but a little bit of understeer forced him off the top of the racetrack. So we're back here to our battle for the GTD. It's Robert Cast and Carter Cunningham. We're also keeping an eye on the battle here with Samuel de Oliveira and David Fernandez, 2nd and 3rd in the GTD AM. Our 2 Portugal drivers in the race. Back up here to this battle for the GTD. It's Cast and Cunningham there. Got to give our leader a little bit of screen time. Palchet with a comfortable lead, won the opening race at Daytona. Had a pit stop miscue last week, 2 weeks ago at Road Atlanta. Cost him a chance at the win. Brandon Wilson picked up the win in that race. They were going at it early on here tonight. But unfortunately, Brandon Wilson finds himself back. He's still in the top 5 here. Nathan Dowd there in 3rd. Dominic Dornberg in 4th. We look here at Wilson. So we take a scroll here through the pack. Caden Richardson. And actually the standings are sorted out pretty much by class. We've seen first couple of races, we saw kind of a mix of the GTD and GTDM mixed together, but once we get back here and look at GTD, all 3 of them here running together, 13th, 14th, and 15th overall. About 12 minutes left to go in this. Higgins doing a good job holding on to 2nd. We're going to try to find us a battle here. Oliveira and Fernandez going at it here for 2nd. In the GTDM class, it is one of the best battles we have on the racetrack right now. Let's see, Cast and Cunningham are still close together. We'll keep an eye on that one. They're running 1 and 2 in the GTDs. Good shot looking down from the blimp. I'll get back to this battle here. Actually, it looks like Cunningham's kind of fallen off here. He was about a half a second to 3/4 of a second away from Cast, but Cast now is about a 1.5 seconds away. Looks to be in control of this GTD race. So currently all of our leaders with at least about 1 to 2 second advantage over 2nd place in all 4 classes. Bennett's got about a 7-second advantage back to this battle for 2nd in the GTDM between Fernandez and Oliveras. I think that's got to be one of my favorite paint liveries of any car that I've seen so far this year here in Oliveira. Thank you for being here with us. We're down almost into the last 10 minutes. I'm Chris Murphy. You're at JP Broadcasting. Bringing you the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge, round number 3. I'm not sure what season this is. They're another 14 or 15 years into this league. Most leagues run at least 2 or 3 seasons a league, or a year. It's just a good, strong league here with Autobahn. Bringing a lot of really great drivers out here. You see good field of cars here, 28 strong here tonight. Take a look at Caster one more time. Cunningham starting to close up a little bit more. He's cut about 0.4 of a second into that gap. But he's got only about 9.5 minutes to make it up. And it looks like the weather is going to hold off. We did have a chance of rain when this thing started. The weather looks to hold off, but you can see the rotors glowing there on Pat Pelchat, your leader here in the GTB. Points leader came in tonight, looking to retain the point, hold on to the point lead here, retain it, hold on to it. I guess that means the same thing. And it's a ways back to Higgins now, about 8 to 9 seconds. Dow, Dornberg, and Wilson are top 5 in the GTP. Jimbo Pfeiffer, our 6th car in the GTP, is out of this race. He was out about 20 minutes ago, it looks like. So we'll look back here one more time. Pelchat making his way through traffic. Here we look at Caden Richardson one more time in the LMP2. He's got Walker Carroll kind of lurking back there. Carroll's not really putting any pressure on him, but if Richardson makes a mistake, he is going to have his hands full. Right there behind Carroll is Nathan Dowd, trying to put another lap on him here, make his way through traffic. Carroll doesn't really have to move over and get out of the way. He's just got to hold the line, give Dowd a place to go. Carroll is trying to do everything he can to work his way back up onto the back of Caden Richardson for the lead. Dowd's going to move to the outside. They're going to put him a lap down, though. Carroll's not going to fight anymore to hold him back, as Dowd's going to set sail, holding on to 3rd right now. Last spot on the podium. Take a look here at Robert Tinsey and Walker. So Tinsey back there in 3rd in the LMP2. Let's see if we can find us a good battle. This still looks like about the best battle on the racetrack here between Fernandez and Oliveira, as we are winding down here at Motegi. I need to pull up the schedule to see where we're going. Where we are going. We should take about a week off for this. Looks like next race will be at Mosport on the 10th of November. So we're going to take another week off here after tonight. We'll come back on November 10th in Mosport. Still look at our leader here, Pat Pelchat, out in front. And he has about now almost 11 seconds back to 2nd place running Harrison Higgins. We're going to keep our eye on this battle right here. This is the best battle we got on the racetrack, as you can see. Pelchat actually going to put a lap on these two. Now, so if I'm Oliveira right here, I'm going to let Pelchat go by, and I'm going to try to follow him past. Looks like he tried to do just that, just didn't have enough momentum to get up there. All right. We're closing in on a 5-minute, closing into 55 minutes of this hour-long race. About 5.5 minutes left to go right now. Pat Pelchat, Harrison Higgins, Nathan Dowd, your top 3. Carter Cunninger's got 5 more minutes here to work up on the back of Robert Cass and take that. Cunninger led quite a bit early of this GTD class. Cass got by him with a nice timely pit stop. Brandon Wilson still out there on the track. Let's see, last time by, fastest car on the track was still Pelchat, but Wilson was only about 2.5 tenths behind. Caden Richardson still leading the LMP2. He led early. Lost the lead to Walker Carroll for a little bit. Carroll made a nice pit stop as well. Gave him the lead for a little bit. Richardson was able to make his way back around. About the only driver out that's led about every single lap, I think, in their class is Brian Bennett. Bennett has been the leader in the GTDMs from start to finish, and he has about 8 seconds back to Second place running David Fernandez. Fernandez has Oliveira, but he's also got Harrison Higgins back there lurking, trying to put a lap on him here. You can see the rotors glowing on these cars in the dark. So like I said, 2 weeks from now on November 10th, we're going to come back to Canada at Mosport. And then 2 weeks after that, we'll be at Long Beach, California. Then we're back to Road America, back to our Endurance Cup Championship race. And that race at Road America on December 8th will be a 90-minute race. As we take a look here at David Fernandez and Samuel de Oliveira, second and third in the GTDM. Pat Pelchat, after his early battle with Brandon Wilson, has found his way with a big lead now of 13 seconds back to Harrison Higgins. Once he was able to get to the point, not going to give it up. He actually, we'll talk to Pat about it in the interview after the race, but, he had that little contact with Wilson, turned Wilson around, then backed up. Let Wilson take the lead back, went back to fight and battle, went back to battling with him again, and then Wilson just kind of mysteriously lost the front bumper on that car and had to come into the pits and do some repairs, and that is what put Wilson towards the back, and then some contact there with Caden Richardson, and Wilson off into the sand to send him back a little bit farther. So we had a pretty exciting section early on there with Wilson and Pelchat going at it, but unfortunately it is going to end up with a big win here. About 13-second gaps back to Harrison Higgins, Nathan Dow, Dominic Dornberg, Brandon Wilson, your top 5 here in the GTP. Caden Richardson still leading the LMP2. Walker Carroll right there behind him. Robert Tinsey, Matt Brewer, Mo Islam, Alan Aguilar, and Matthew Dennis. That is our remaining cars running in the LMP2. In the GTD, it is still Robert Cass, Carter Cunningham still lurking right there behind him. Only about a second back. Not really putting any pressure on it, but just hoping for a mistake. And then it's Bradley Haley, our league sponsor, the Haley Agency, in third in the GTD. And then we get back to GTDM. It is Brian Bennett, David Fernandez, and Samuel de Oliveira. And actually, Paul Slavanik has now worked his way up here with just a couple minutes left to go in this race, trying to find a way up into the top 3 in the GTDM. But he has, it looks like Nathan Dowd right there with him. Slavanik's got some good pace here at the end of this race. He might find his way up into the top 3 before this is over. We'll kind of keep an eye on this. We don't really have much else on the racetrack. Not when it comes to tight battles anyway. As Fernandez in second, Oliveira there in third, and you can see lurking right there in fourth is Paul Slavanik. Slavanik won the first race of the season at Daytona. So we are down under a minute. Pelchat now making his way across the line. So we're going to see if the white flag came out or not there. I don't think it did. So looks like we're going to have at least one more lap around. So we'll keep an eye on this battle here with Slavanik. Working his way up on de Oliveira here for third in the GTDM. Definitely got the better pace here late in the race. He just needs a little more time. Oh, he gets off right there into the grass. That is going to cost him. Gets off in the grass, gets the car a little bit loose. And that may have just taken his shot away right there. To get up onto the podium of GTDM. We'll take a look here at Pat Pelchat one more time. Is where we at on the racetrack. Pat making his way up around through turn 8 and 9. Great shot down from the blimp as he's going to put another lap on Sherburne. And actually, the next car in front of Pelchat is Brandon Wilson. I don't think he's going to have a chance to get there before this is over with. We're going to come across the line. I think this is going to be the white flag. One more lap to go here have a starter camera up there, so I can't see. So if we get the checker coming around, I think it's going to get the white flag. There's going to be one more lap to go here for Pelchat. He comes down across the line. Oh, that's going to be the checkered. That is going to be it. Pal Petra. It's going to bring home the win here. Second win of the season here in the GTP. We look back here in the middle. It is Caden Richardson now making his way through the traffic there in the GTD, and Richardson's now going to come across. A couple more corners here for Richardson to take win number 3. He has swept, looking to sweep the season so far. Won at Daytona, won at Road Atlanta, now looking to win here at Motegi. It is Caden Richardson coming across the line as your winner in the LMP2. Robert Cast already crossed the line in the GTD, took the win here, his second win for the GTD. So we've got multiple winners. Pat Pelchat with 2 wins, Richardson with 3 now. Did something happen? Something happened with Bennett? What happened with Bennett here late in the race? It looks like Bennett might have lost a right rear tire or something there. Let's look at that. See if I can look at that one more time or get a little bit different angle or something. Let's see here. He led every lap of this race. He's got a right rear flat tire right there, trying to limp it around. Not able to make it. Bennett led every single lap in the GTDM. But it's going to be David Fernandez coming with the win. Samuel de Oliveira second. Sylvanik there in third. Unfortunate there for Bennett. Falls all the way back. And you can see him kind of trying to limp around there. I think he lost that right rear tire and was just trying to limp around to the finish line and was not able to make it. Another outstanding race here at Motegi for the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. I feel for Brian Bennett right there. I can tell you that much. That's been in those situations myself over the years. So, all right. So I think we got Caden Richardson waiting for the interview room. I don't see anybody else yet, so we'll bring Caden in here with us. Hey, Caden, Chris Murphy. Let me get you mic'd up there real quick. Are you with us, buddy? All right, there you are. Win number 3 races, 3 wins. Looking pretty stout out there. So start the season off.
Yeah, getting the win tonight was honestly a surprise. In practice, my pace wasn't too great.
Yeah, Walker looked like he kind of undercut you there I don't know if he undercut you. He actually put it after you, but had a good stop. Got the lead there from you for a little while. But you were able to get back by him there.
Yeah, I got caught up in some GT3 traffic, so I decided to pit early. I was behind him, I believe, a bit because of the cold tires from my stop. So it just took a few corners to get back ahead.
Partway through the race there, you had an incident there with Brandon Wilson coming back up through there. Looked like you made a little bit of a contact. Brandon off into the sand. What did you see there?
Yeah, it was a bit of an unfortunate incident. I'm trying to maintain my gap. He was ahead, so I'm trying to lift off, but unfortunately he came across my nose there.
Yeah, it's kind of what it looked
Got
like.
A little bit of tap.
So next 2 weeks we come to go to Canada for Mosport. How you feeling about your pace there?
Oh, absolutely horrible. Mosport is probably one of my weakest tracks on the service.
Well, congratulations! 3 races out, 3 wins. You're the only driver in the league so far that has swept every race. Hopefully you can keep it going. But hey, man, before we get you out of here, you got anybody you want to give a thanks to?
Yeah, I gotta thank the broadcast for putting this on each week. I gotta thank the league organizers. I gotta thank P1 Docs for giving me this beauty of a setup this week. And I gotta thank my personal sponsors, Aqualine Performance and Automotive Couture. Thank you guys.
All right, Caden, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Congratulations again.
Hopefully. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna bring our overall leader, overall winner, and GTP winner, Pat Pelchet. Pat, Chris Murphy here with you in the booth. Little
Hey,
little dicey there tonight. Wasn't quite as uh, you know, defining as it was at Daytona, and then last 2 weeks ago, or actually was it 3 weeks ago now, with Brandon getting the win. But you guys dicing back and forth there tonight. What did you see from your perspective?
well, I messaged him and I apologized for my move. I think it was a bit optimistic. What really sucked it as it gave him damage. I tried to give him back the place, but I don't think he had the car to fight it. The car was on rails tonight. I don't know, man. I'm struggling in quali. I need to figure this shit out. But I think my race pace was very strong. The group was there. I could see that Brendan's was fading away. So it was one hell of a fight, and it's gonna be one hell of a fight for the whole season. But yeah, apologies to him, and yeah, I think he had some other issues, and then a bit later in the airpin atop the hill, he dove me and took his bumper off, and I think that really ruined his race. But yeah, what a race!
Yeah, it was a heck of a race early. I didn't know if I was going to be able to talk for an hour like that. It's actually better from a selfish side of things. It was better you guys got separated, but you guys were just putting on one hell of a show. I kind of saw it the same way you did. You kind of dove in there, and I don't know if Brandon saw you diving in there, and you guys made that contact. But it was a real gentleman move on your part to back off, give him the spot back, and then that second incident from our perspective, there wasn't really even any contact. His front bumper just fell off the car, but you're able to charge to the front. You ended up winning this race by almost 14 seconds over Higgins. So just another dominating performance once you got to the front.
Well, I don't know. I think the contact was maybe heavier than it looked maybe on broadcast. Yeah, it was a pretty hard contact on that airpin. He lost his bumper. I got a 4X from it. I'm
Oh
I'm
wow.
pretty lucky I didn't get damage. Honestly, would have evened out if I did, but yeah. Then after that, I really tried to build as much as a buffer as I could. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think the pace was there tonight.
that's the one thing about racing online, right? We all kind of see things a little different. And unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. From my perspective, it looks one way, your perspective looks another, and it's not as bad as the netcode doesn't seem to be too bad most of the time. But you guys just really,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do this for another. What do we got? Another 10 or 12 weeks if you guys are going to go at it that hard.
Yeah.
I'm
It's gonna be one hell of a season, and that this fight is 1-1 right now, so we're just back to the beginning. So it's gonna
yeah.
be back and forth this whole season. I can tell you,
Well,
Brendan's one hell of a driver, and we've fought before, and it's gonna be tight. There's gonna be no gift, nothing given, and it's gonna be a hard fight. Yeah.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it if you guys are going to put on a show like that. But Pat, congratulations once again. We go to Canada in a couple of weeks. How do you feel about your chances at Mosport?
I don't know. The last time we went there, I was racing against him, against Brendan. He had a whole lot of pace. So I don't know. We'll see what I can pull and see if that Porsche can be good for me.
Well, do you have anybody you want to give a thanks to?
Well, Solpec Precision Racing, and all our sponsor, Broodzy, RDocs, and mostly Solpec. But I want to give a shout out to my four teammates that qualified for IMSA Global. Yeah, I've got Robin Schwanke, I've got Max Muir, Garrett Barry, Jordan Johnson. All these guys qualified for that one hell of a championship. So really props to them, and yeah, gotta give them a shout out.
Well, that's awesome. We'll look forward to seeing that. We're going to look forward to the rest of the season, Pat. So we'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Have yourself a good night.
Thank you, man.
All right, we're going to bring in our GTD winner, Robert. Robert, are you there with us? Yeah, Chris Murphy here in the booth.
Hey, how's it going, Chris? Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been what, about 3 weeks now?
Something like that, yeah.
Well, you picked up the win. Picked up the win the last time out at Road Atlanta. Carter was looking pretty strong here early on in this race, but it looked like you you got look by pit stop time. I think you had your pit stop was about 3 seconds faster, and that looked to be the difference to give you the lead.
Yeah, I was working with a not such a good set, so I was just trying to do what I could and fuel saving. I thought Bradley was either going to send it at some point or he was just going to fuel save behind. I thought he was going to jump me the whole time, and I was shaking in my boots for a while there. I didn't think I was going to come out in front of Carter, and I did. I was just enough to do burnout and a little donut at the end. That's all the fuel I had, so I got the numbers right, and it worked out in my end.
Yeah, look good. Look towards the end of Carter, kind of closing in on the back, but you kept a really good pace, kept him back behind you, even when the a couple of faster GTP and LM2 cars came through there. But you look really strong out there tonight. Back-to-back wins. How you feeling? So we go to Canada at Mosport in a couple weeks. How do you feel about your chances there?
It's one of my favorite tracks, but I'm going into it with a car with no set, so we're just going to see what happens. I jumped into the Aston Friday before I left town for the weekend and ran laps today, so I'm learning the car. It seems like there's a fine line of too much throttle and not enough throttle on exit, so I just got to learn a little better and see what I can do and just bring the heat to Mosport.
All right. Well, congratulations on your second win of the season. Before we get you out of here, you want to give a thanks to anybody?
Just another shout out to the team, GT Dynamics, and like I said, the guys over at Composite, Dom, Carter, Caden, Mo, all those guys, all teammates stuff. Always good to be around, good to see them out on track, and it's fun racing with them. And I'll bring the heat next week or in 2 weeks, and we'll see you next time.
All right, we're looking forward to it. We'll see you in Canada. Have yourself a good rest of the night.
You too, Chris.
All right, that is going to close it out for us here at Motegi here for the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge. Let's see if we can bring up the final results. See if we can get back here. So one more time, Pat Pelchet bringing home the win in the GTP and overall win. Harrison Higgins, Nathan Dowd, Dominic Dornberg, Brandon Wilson are going to be the top five there. Then it's going to be Caden Richardson with his third win of the season in the LMP2. Walker Carroll put up a good fight there, but came home in second. Robert Tinsey third. Matt Brewer, Mo Islam, and Alan Aguilar back there right behind Mo. Matthew Dennis going to round out the field there in the LMP2 class. GTD, it's going to be Robert Cass, Carter Cunninger, Bradley Haley. So Robert now with back-to-back wins, Road Atlanta and here at Motegi. Then we're going to go to the GTD AM. I don't know why I have a hard time saying that, but it's going to be David Fernandez with a win after some late race trouble. I get my, there we go. Get my screen to scroll up here. David Fernandez bringing home his first win of the season. Brian Bennett led every single lap except for the last one in the GTD-M. And it's Fernandez, Oliveira, Slavanic, Joshua Wolf, Sheldon Rosenbaum, Rich Maker. Bennett finds himself back there in about 6th or 7th. It's Chris Sherber and Dale Green. And then back there we find our Santana and Jimbo Pfeiffer did not finish, but it's Kudrowski and Hunter did not even turn a lap in this race. But another fantastic race here. We look forward to the Autobahn Sports Car Challenge every time we get a chance. And we're going to be back 2 weeks from now at Canada at Mosport for another hour long. My name is Chris Murphy here with JP Productions. Until next time, we'll see you again.